Don't waste my time. Can't find this stuff back at the base. Stop wasting my time.
Biohazard warning. Transmissions jammed.
What's going on, guys? Gaming Tech TV here. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Mitch.
And we're going to do a little bit of a review and thoughts and opinions on what we think about the Division. Played both the open and closed beta.
Perhaps a little too much.
Most likely too much, but hey, it's what betas are for. We're just trying to help perfect this game a little bit. So we'll cut to some gameplay here, give our thoughts and opinions, and don't give us too hard a time on the gameplay. We've got a little bit more practice and maybe some better items to find when the actual game releases. But
so let's just jump right into it. Here we are, coming out into the Dark Zone. It's the multiplayer map on the Division. You got to go through a little threshold, come out here, meet up with my two buddies. Biggest thing that we realized, conclusion that we drew from this game, is that you need buddies.
You gotta have buddies.
Whether you find them in the Dark Zone, just random guys running around, or you know your buddies that actually have this game, you gotta meet up with them.
If you don't have friends, find some, because you're not gonna be able to play this game without them. So if you're kind of a hermit and you don't want to communicate or interact with other people, even in the digital world here, then don't play this game.
You will die.
You will die, and it's basically the Wild West out here in the Dark Zone. It's no rules, and basically anything goes, and the only people you've got to give you some help are going to be your buddies. So, if you haven't played the betas, which you needed to pre-order to play the closed beta, but the open beta is going to be pretty much anybody could have played, and if you didn't, you missed out on it. So that's what we're here for. We're going to kind of walk you through a little bit of gameplay and give you our thoughts and opinions. But essentially, you got three guns, a primary, a secondary, and then your handgun. As you can see, switching around here, and then with the rifle on the back of Mitch's character here. It's a lot of cover-based fighting and movement, so you got to keep that in mind when you're running through, the Dark Zone. You might be hoofing it for a while, but when you start to take fire, if you're caught out in the open or exposed to either players or computer players here in the Dark Zone, because there are both, you'll get cut down pretty quick, especially if you don't have any good gear.
One of the things we really did like about this game was the fluidity when coming in and out of cover. Jumping behind a car, going to a dump truck, going to a phone booth, going in between cover is really fluid. You can hit and hold A, point to where you want to go, and the character will do it mostly by himself. Helps you stay behind cover, helps you stay alive.
And you can see there's just a shitload of cover everywhere, and that's there for a reason. Whether it's a little trash can or that trash truck in front of you, you're going to want to use it. And we'll get into some combat here a little bit later, but what's happening right now in front of you while people are dicking around, you just saw another player without the blue bar run by above his head, and that's basically just a guy running around on his own in the Dark Zone. And if we so chose, we could fuck his shit up and drop him down and take all of his gear. So that's the reason you gotta have buddies. It would have been an easy 3-on-1 fight for us here, and he wouldn't have stood a chance. So the movement we're doing right now, we're
now
most
entering a
likely
contaminated area.
looking for gear, or once you have gear, you're going to be trying to extract your gear. And essentially, you're doing the Dark Zone. You can't use it until it's been extracted, and you check back in at home base to pick it up. That's basically, other than the actual fighting aspect, especially fighting other real players in the Dark Zone. That's the whole name of the game, is finding cool shit for your character to strengthen either defense or attack, and also rarity. There's a lot of rare items that you're trying to find as well.
you find most of this stuff in those boxes, like the one in the alley, or most of them are in dark alleys, subways, parking garages. Some you need dark keys for. Dark zone keys are picked up off NPC players. There's groups to 5 or 6 of them at a time, kind of hanging out, doing gang-related activities, and you just roll up on them and blast them and then take all their stuff. Most of the time it's dark zone key, weapons, gear, armor, that kind of thing. But yeah, the most prized possessions are usually in those dark zone boxes, which you need a key for. And if someone had just opened one of those boxes, it takes some time for them to reload.
And I think they might just be randomly generated. I don't even think it's necessarily on a timer, because we did laps and either maybe somebody beat us to those boxes. That's very possible, and that just reset the timer before we were able to hit it. But I think the most, at least in my opinion, the most prized possession that I was always looking for was a better gun.
Yeah, you can always have a better gun.
I feel like there's always a better gun out here, and of the 3 characters that we're watching right now, the main character that we're following, the player here, Mitch, I'd say his main concern was finding a better gun throughout the whole open beta, and that's for a few reasons. One, because we're fighting other players with stronger guns, and 2, because you're going to be fighting people a lot longer if you don't have a good gun. Even if you're good and tactical and you've got a good team behind you, you don't want to be the weakest link. So, and that's kind of luck of the draw. I mean, he wasn't necessarily doing anything wrong, but it's just whoever gets the lucky drop of a good gun is going to be using it.
So here's, we came across a group of NPCs, hit them with our launch grenade, projectile grenade, I guess. It's one of the special skills you can acquire. And roll up on those guys, take them out real quick, see what they have. Mostly just stock items, stuff that you can find, dime a dozen type things. Now we're just working our way. There's an extraction to our right. I'm not quite sure. I think we're just rolling through here. There are 3 main categories to your character: damage, hit points, same thing, health, and then skill. You don't get into skill too much in the betas. Most of the skills were locked, but health and damage were the 2 main that we focused on. It's a balance. Some of the pieces you get have will raise your health but lower your damage, and vice versa. So it's kind of a happy medium. Do you want to stay in the fight longer with a lot of health, or do you want to try and take people out and not have as much health with higher damage?
Do more damage, yeah. Yeah, that's the balance between what you find. I mean, some things drop your armor but increase your damage, and you kind of just have to weigh based on, I guess, what you're coming across in the dark zone, what you think is the most important.
So here's a dark zone box, dark zone key. Ended up getting blue, which is I think the 2nd highest level quality of product, quality of, I guess.
Yeah, blue's kind of like more rare. Green is kind of your average. I think there was one. What was it, yellow? Was like
yellow is the highest level.
The highest level.
White is just basically stock items stuff.
Yeah, you don't even want to pick that up really.
Yeah.
Or it's an ammo. You know, somebody drops ammo. So if you see the yellow bags that now we've got the biohazard signal on, that means we picked up some dark zone items. And basically, if we want to keep these items, we got to extract it. And if we don't extract it and somebody kills us, they're going to basically get rights to all of our gear that we've picked up. So if you get something special, get it the hell out of the dark zone. And if you come across either NPCs like this or some actual other players, and you die, you're gonna lose your cool item and probably be kicking yourself, which definitely happened to me at least once or twice. But it's kind of imperative. I mean, that's what it's all about, is getting your cool gear. So get it out as soon as you can. Don't try and mess around with these guys or get caught in a firefight with some other players, because it's not worth losing a rare item. And that's kind of the reason that the dark zone is the dark zone, because you can lose all your shit at any given time. And I like that because it makes things a little more high stakes. But at the same time, when you die with your cool gear and somebody's teabagging your dead body, and they take all your shit. And since this game has proximity voice, if they're around you, you're going to hear them calling you a bitch and saying that they just took all your shit, which just sucks. So it's the fun part, and it's also the shitty part, depending on which way the cookie crumbles for you. And that's, so you can see that green laser going up into the sky, that indicator. Those are items. So if you leave those items, if you don't think they're worth it, you know, like looking Omega rifle suppressor, not worth picking up or having to extract, or limiting your 6 items that you can extract, you just leave it there, and it's probably going to stay there for as long as you're in the game. When you run by it an hour later, it'll still be there for you to pick up. So kind of cool, and I like that it gives you a preview before you pick it up, so I don't have to go look at the item, pick it up, go to my menu, check to see if it's worth a damn, drop item, and then move on. I can just glance at it and say it's not worth my time. So let's see, the down arrow that we're seeing on screen right now, that's going to take you below into the subways. Subways are contaminated zones, which contaminated zones I didn't think really did anything in this.
We didn't really get into those in the beta. You gotta believe you have different levels that you can take with that skill, with your filter level. You have to have a higher filter level to get into, you know, more heavier contaminated areas. They probably have better gear is what I would assume.
But that didn't really have an effect in the beta. At least not that we saw, or we just had good enough masks to go everywhere. But from what I felt, the subways were kind of the place to be for gear.
From close quarters,
both fighting and gear,
and plenty of boxes.
Yeah,
they always seem to be open. I don't know if that was just because other people weren't using the subways as much, but we spent a lot of time down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, here's 2 boxes in a row we just got.
It's kind of a treacherous place. I mean, not so much for NPCs, but I think we run into some trouble here with some other players down here in the subway, and it's close quarters, so you toss a grenade, and your chances of getting some damage taken down on your opponent is pretty high. Not to mention that if there's a bunch of people down here, then you got really no aiming needed. You kind of just spray, and you're going to hit everybody.
Yeah, the NPCs come at different levels, different grades, strength and quality of non-player character.
So there's another Dark Zone box right there.
They do take cover. They do know how to kind of maneuver tactically. If you are undercover for an extended period of time, they will try and flank you.
They'll throw grenades at you.
Yeah, they will try and get you to move, which is kind of cool. It gives you a little tactical. You can't just hide behind the same cover.
Someone to cut in. You just picked something up from the Dark Zone box. One of us had a key, which basically gives all your buddies access to the box as well. And Mitch wanted to see what he got, see if it was actually any good. Look at the specifics of it, because it was a blue item, which means it's decent. And he wanted to see if that's something that he needs to get out of Dodge with right now. And it looks like we kind of left you behind, so sorry about that, bud.
It's all good. I had to check, go to the menu and check what I had, because I did have more than 6 items. So you can go through and you can deconstruct certain items, ones that you don't want. Sometimes you get materials, fabrics, weapons parts, stuff like that.
Now, wait a second. This guy's rogue here. So we came across a guy. Basically, he's open season for all of us with no consequences, because he either shot at us or betrayed somebody else and killed somebody else, got marked as rogue. And basically, when you get marked as rogue, the whole Dark Zone map knows that you're rogue, and they want to take you out because you get points. You get rewards for killing bad players or treacherous players in the game. So we're chasing this guy down. He saw that there's 3 of us and decided he didn't have a chance to stand and fight, so he's trying to lose us and let his time expire. So there's a timer above his name there. You can see 48. That's got to dissipate before he can run free with no consequences and no being marked. And now, of course, the damn NPCs get in the way when we're trying to kill this guy.
Yeah, once you got to a certain level, kind of when we were coming towards the end of the open beta, they just became a nuisance. They never dropped anything worth any value. They just were in the way constantly. And see here, one of us looks like we might actually
got stuck fighting an NPC and got ambushed.
And clipped somebody that might have not been rogue, which sent us rogue.
Yeah, so anybody in the group can send the whole group rogue at any time, basically. So he's got 9, 8, 7, 6, the countdown until we're no longer rogue and there's no bounty on our head. But this is the fun part. I mean, this was the most fun for, in my opinion, the only reason I went to the Dark Zone. Not necessarily to find cool gear. After I had some decent weapons and armor, the name of the game for me was find as many people that are rogue to kill and actually have good gun battles with, or go rogue and betray somebody and ambush somebody and see how long we can last. Kind of like the Grand Theft Auto that you always, you play for an hour and then you decide, fuck it, I'm bored, I'm going to start killing civilians. Same concept for me.
And this is why it's very important to have your friends with you, because you got to be all on the same page, know that who's covering who.
Yeah.
Have your headsets in. Communication is key. It's really easy to just get turned around, go run off down the street, and next thing you know, your buddies are a couple hundred yards on the next street in a firefight, or
more importantly, you're alone.
Yeah.
Which can be equally bad. I mean, if your buddies get killed and if you're not there to help them out, maybe you're gonna have a discussion later. But if you've got cool shit and you get separated from your buddies, then that's scary. You wanna be careful. And so NPCs. So this is an extraction point. We've got gear. We want to get it out. We want to get it to the base so we can go pick it up later and use it. But it seems like anytime you call in an extraction, or just about anytime you call in an extraction, some NPCs would be in the area. Which again, I mean, I know they drop shit, but kind of just a pain in the ass, really. I would almost rather, when you kill another player, aside from what they've got on their person, or if they don't have anything on their person, then they drop shit. And it's more about killing other players and fighting other players, or team versus team battles than fighting NPCs, because everybody just kind of burns through them real quick and gets bored. I mean, there's a lot of running. As you can see, we've seen one guy that's an actual player that went rogue that we tried to kill. But other than that, it's kind of been just wandering around trying to find cool shit and killing these computer players, which aren't, they're not terrible. The AI is decent, but they're just not that good. So it gets old a little bit.
Confirmed. Cargo secured.
And now, so you call an extraction in,
15 seconds.
and you kind of duck for cover, because aside from these NPCs, everybody in the Dark Zone just got a notification that you've called in an extraction. So there's a few scenarios that can play out. One, they come. Okay, so here's a rogue guy, and Mitch just got dropped.
Yeah, there's another rogue guy up on the.
So we got ambushed,
on the roof.
basically, I think.
Yeah, we did. We're surrounded by him.
And I was down. A 12-inch phallus is me. I was down, and Thrill the Chase revived me. So he was the best one in our group. Definitely nothing to do with his gaming ability.
No.
So don't be confused as to why he's never going down. But I think he played the most and found the most cool shit, basically just for logging the most hours, which I guess he deserves something for that. But yeah, don't be confused. And he's actually, okay, alright, we're talking shit about Chase, but he's actually holding off the rogue guys while we extract our shit. And basically, like that guy, he's probably come to extract some stuff. He's got a yellow bag on him. Yeah, he's extracting. And he's a friendly, because he's not marked red. These other, it looks like there's 3 rogues that tried to jump us or ambush us, and then kind of hightailed it out of there.
One of the tips for extracting is they're all helipads, because the helicopters are what come and drop the cable, and you load up your gear on the cable. It's ideal to have one of your extraction points off to the side, not in the middle of the helipad, because if it's in the middle of the helipad, then you're fair game for everybody. Just like when I went down just right there a few seconds ago, I was standing in the middle of the helipad.
So you want
you're just asking for
cover,
it.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get to the fringes, kind of shoot the extraction undercover, so you can stay undercover for the majority of the time.
So as popular as we are, both in gaming and in the real world, we've only got a group of 3 here, which is unfortunate, because everybody else that we game with or are friends with plays on PC or PS4 or Xbox. We play on PC, so it would have been handy to have a 4th.
Yeah,
but we
easily.
just couldn't find a worthy candidate. I guess we met up with a couple people, but nobody really lasted in the game.
So this is the safe room. There's one in this Dark Zone level. You can see in my wallet I have 3,041 Dark Zone points, and the guns, of course, I'm looking to buy are over 7,000 points. Damage is just through the roof on these. These are definitely the rarest and hardest to find. As you can see, they were yellow.
Yeah,
so
so
it's
that's
the top tier.
That's the yellow. Yeah, that's the best in the game. And
So at this one, I'm just window shopping. No chance. I gotta restock here, get my machine gun, get grenades, health packs, all that kind of stuff.
yeah, window shopping. If I could go back and play the beta over again for another extreme amount of hours, I would save all my points and I would be more careful. Careful might be the right word.
Yes.
About going rogue and just trying to get in fights with people, because if you die when you're rogue or somebody kills you, even if you're not rogue, you lose your Dark Zone points. And I was just getting in gunfights for the sake of getting in gunfights, and sometimes winning, sometimes dying, but I burned through a lot of Dark Zone points, and I could have probably had a nice gun before the end of the beta, but hey, you can't take it with you to the real game, so what the hell.
You know what they say? If you can't use it, you lose it?
Right, something like that.
So here we are. Extracted all those items. You have to go out of the Dark Zone, back to like kind of the main base for the campaign, to be able to extract it to put it in your inventory from the extracted items tab. So we'll go ahead and kind of fast forward.
So you
through
can
this.
see that guy's name next to his name was the little chat box, and I mentioned it earlier, but the game has proximity voice. I'm sure if you've read any reviews or watched anybody else's reviews, they've talked about it, but I guess if we're gonna touch on a couple things that I didn't like, I thought that proximity voice was just shit. Not the idea, but the execution. And I know it's the beta, but if you're listening, Ubisoft, fix it, because a lot of the time I couldn't hear people next to me, whether they were in my group, which I feel like if you're in a group of 3 or 4 or 2 people, then you should, like, no matter what, that chat should be working, because the game is like so critical on having friends and teammates and communication, especially when you get into a bigger fight, that there's really no reason why. I think even if I'm on the other side of the map, I should be able to talk to you if you're in my group.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was one of my gripes, and I couldn't seem to ever get consistent communication with teammates and other players, strangers in the game, because essentially you could listen or talk to other people and either listen to them try to ambush you or plan your own ambush and have them listen to you, or it's kind of like essential to not getting jumped or running away from danger. And you're leaving the Dark Zone here, so he's safe now. He's safe now in the main part of the map. See, it's not red, and he's going back to base to check out his extracted gear, maybe equip it. But yeah, I think that's...
Yeah, I was definitely going back to upgrade my armor. I got a couple things in the Dark Zone, a couple blue items that I can replace with some of the greens that I had.
And that kind of brings me to my next dislike. I guess I should say, before I start talking about all my dislikes, this game is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I spent so much time playing it, not to do a review on it, but because it was so much fun. Partly because of you have to be with your team, which is good and bad, I guess, if you don't have a team. But we always seemed like our threesome.
At least 3 of us.
Yeah, together, and communicating and playing with those guys was just really fun. But I think I didn't like running around. We spent so much time running around, and half of this video so far has been us running around, and that's kind of the nature of the beast. But thank God for fast travel. If we didn't have fast travel, and you can only fast travel to certain places, but yeah, a lot
Still
of
cuts
running
down on your transit time, just running and running.
I think I want less running and more fighting.
For sure.
I don't know how they can do that, but if those were the 2 things I could pick to make happen somehow, I think that would probably be it. While he's looking through stuff, I didn't like necessarily, again, there's pros and cons to this, but it's not easy to kill somebody, whether it's another player or, I mean, an NPC is easy to kill, but not quick to kill, I guess, especially if you don't have the right guns. But you can blow through 3 mags of direct hits on somebody without dropping them, which is good when you're getting fucked up, but
Headshots are key.
Headshots are key, which is good. But,
Deal way more damage.
and you can heal, which is good if you're getting shot, but it can draw out some of these battles that I know. I guess that's a good thing. I liked the long battles. After a long battle, we were always like, "Holy shit, that was fun."
Mm-hmm.
What else didn't I like? Mitch was playing on 4K, which was sweet. So he liked that.
The game looked great. Ultra settings just blew me away.
This is recorded in 1080, but I was playing in 1080 with not ultra. I think I was in high, so I was kind of jealous of the 4K, but it did play pretty well.
Yeah, and we game only a few feet from each other, so it was easy to compare. And I mean, 1080 looks great, but the 4K was just crisp, clear, and ran very smooth.
I didn't like all these bullshit pickups. Like, I kind of was just hitting pick up, extract all, or pick up all anytime I saw anything. But then I'd get back to my stash, and I'd either have to empty it and deconstruct things, or I'd be like, I didn't get anything cool. I'm sure there's gonna be more gear to pick up and better gear to pick up and use in the full game. So we'll kind of wait to pass judgment on that.
Yeah, see what else Ubisoft throws at us.
I thought all the guns were cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Even the shitty ones looked good, and like that hollow sight on the RPK right there looks pretty realistic. But so we'll cut ahead here back to the dark zone and some actual fighting. Alright, here we're back in the dark zone. Oh, actually, rewind that a little bit. Alright, so he's heading back to the dark zone. I think you left us.
Yeah, I had to go. I wanted to upgrade my armor so I could stick around a little bit longer in all these fights. That last time we got ambushed, I went down way too easy. So now I'm coming back. If you were listening on the comms, Anthony and Chase were actually getting into a firefight. But I'll just stop to see what's for sale real quick.
Yeah, no rush. Take your time.
But they are in a firefight in the subway. And right now, as I enter here, they are rogue, and I am not. So the plan was for me to come in from the back and just kind of help clean up as they were getting in a firefight.
Oh, are we rogue? No, maybe the other guy was rogue. Yeah, I think the other. Oh no, now we're rogue.
Yep.
Yeah, we totally just ambushed these guys. So they were trying to extract. And as you can see, I pick up their shit and then extract it for them to myself. But yeah, so they were at the rope. They were extracting. There was just 2 of them, which is the downside. If we had 3 or 4 of us, even it would have been even easier. But we waited patiently until they were kind of preoccupied with extracting, and hit them with some sticky grenades, and then dropped them real quick. Took all their shit and extracted it, which. That's the dark zone.
And this is when shit gets real. Now we are marked on the map for everyone to see. So everyone wants to come kill us because they can kill us with really no repercussions.
And that's the importance of cover here, especially in these close quarters. He was trying to do it, but there's so many things that you can get up against and get behind and whatnot that you have to be kind of careful when you're just smashing A, because it'll throw you up against the side of that thing instead of behind cover. So yeah, we ran back into the subway because we were marked and we knew that was going to be the case. Nice stick. And we were going to ambush them. So we ran back down here because we thought maybe this is going to level the odds. We can't get hit from every side, but then we do. So some more guys just joined the fight against us. They were marked. They came in this side entrance here. We're fighting guys all the way down the tunnel, and then we're also fighting guys next to the arrow to the street. And 2 of us are down, and Chase, I hate to say this, being the badass that he was, revived me, and then so these guys are just rushing us. And Mitch, they executed Mitch because once you're down, you have to finish somebody. Chase got me up, and we continue fighting. And this battle goes on because we fight these guys in the tunnel, and then as you can see, we're backing up the escalator, trying to catch a breather and heal and reload. And this guy's chasing us, and Mitch has to wait to revive because we were rogue, so you can't just like respawn immediately after being rogue. And he's gonna try and make it back to join the fight. But these guys pushed us out the tunnel, and now we're coming back down the tunnel because that's our goddamn tunnel. And Mitch is gonna rush back, maybe stop and do some shopping. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But he's gonna rush back and try and get to us. So he's in the dark zone now, and let's see. It was 35 minutes, 15 seconds in. So he's rushing back. We're still in the tunnel, and now we're talking to him. Looks like I'm down.
No, I just mean you're rogue. Those skulls are meaning they're both rogue.
We're rogue. So we're still alive. We're still fighting these guys. And we held our own. So part of that's due to Chase's good armor and guns. But we were just fighting. Like grenades and health and bullets and just shit was going down. And we got pushed out of the tunnel. We pushed our way back into the tunnel. And then we pushed our way further down the tunnel. And we're just kind of fucking up everybody that tries to stand against us. And somebody ran, so Mitch just got back in the fight. And I think we had one. Yeah, that guy escaped. And we're going to finish him. So he's all alone because we killed all of his buddies. And he should have healed, but he might have been out. And now he's down. So we killed that guy. And we're still rogue. And basically, anytime you kill somebody while rogue, it just extends your time of being rogue. And with that being said, we're saying, let's get back in the tunnel. I think if you're good and you have a good team, like we do, the tunnel is like your best friend. There's only two ways you can get... That's an NPC, but... There's only two ways you can really get hit from, relatively speaking.
Yeah, unless you just get swamped by
unless
group of
there's
10.
Yeah, and there's no limit as to the number of guys that you can get caught up fighting, which I think most of the time is how we went down being rogue. It was never a fair fight.
Oh no.
Granted, we ambushed somebody, but
We might have had it coming.
hey, that's the dark zone.
Now entering a contaminated
That's what
area.
happens in the dark zone. Watch your back. And I think that was... Anytime I was around somebody, I was plotting to ambush them, whether you guys were in on it or not.
Oh,
I was
for sure.
always expecting it.
Yeah, we always just kind of... We got used to you just shooting on random people.
Yeah, just kind of ready for shit to go down when I'm around. But there was times where people tried to ambush us too, so I wasn't the only one thinking that.
Which kind of makes that proximity audio kind of interesting because
And key.
people don't really realize, or at least for the first few days of the open beta, that they didn't know other people could hear you. So you'd walk up and you'd be in a group and you'd hear a guy, say this, should we shoot these guys? And you just think, oh, all right, well, let's shoot them first.
And then you strike first. Yeah, that was your shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah.
I
And
guess
then
I kind of
even when they're dead on the ground, they can still hear you and you can still hear them.
yeah.
So you could hear them say, well, how'd they shoot us? Why'd they know?
I didn't have anything. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Or I love damn, they just took my awesome gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun though because it's like I said earlier, it's the Wild West in the dark zone. So you see a group of guys coming up on the opposite sidewalk, and you kind of all square up and like sight each other because you don't want to be the last to draw and get dropped before the fight's even happened yet. So that happened a few times. I don't think in this video, but there'd be times where you're like, hey, watch your six. What the fuck is this guy doing behind you?
Yeah.
And everybody just turns and like lines this dude up ready to just throw shit down. But
So then here we are, out of the firefight. We've dropped the rogue status, and we're just back to looking for the rare.
yeah, so we survived as a group at least, without everybody going down. We survived a pretty good rogue status.
If you do kill, if you're rogue and you just keep killing non-rogues
Yeah.
and just keep killing, you end up getting tagged as a manhunt.
And then there's extra incentive on your head.
Yeah, there's like a bounty, and there's a 5-minute time where no matter what you do, you are rogue for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So literally everyone on the map wants to kill you.
That's tough. If you survive a manhunt, you've got some chops. You got some serious chops, because they... Did we ambush these guys? I think we did.
I think we talked about it, but I don't think we did.
Yeah, so you can turn your mic on and off.
Oh, they quit.
Within the... Oh, that's right. We were going to ambush them. We were definitely going to ambush them. So when you're rogue and you've betrayed people, you can't just run back to the safety of the normal game or like this room here, because you cannot be in combat and exit the map. So if any of you that didn't play are thinking that, try it. You should try it. You should definitely try it.
Absolutely.
Maybe they'll change that in the regular game and you can do it, but I don't think so.
Someone else will want this.
Otherwise you can just come and go as you please. And there's no loading, which is awesome once you've loaded. So now we're kind of like, what are these guys doing here? Keep an eye on them. Kind of 360, head on a swivel, still watching, making sure. I'm staring at these dudes. I'm like, let's do it.
System rebooted.
But yeah, so they went in there. Now what we should have done is wait for them to come back out.
Yeah.
And just jump them. We're trying to just... this whole video is just about building reputation. So when you see us in the streets, you just walk away. Just walk away. Or don't, and we can have some fun. But... yeah, this game... So... there's a number of things that I really like and I think are executed very well. I think everything looks awesome. Just about everything's I mean, you can shoot the tires out of every car in the street.
Yeah, throw grenades.
Throw grenades that blow cars up.
Mm-hmm.
You can shoot the glass out on any car in the street, which is just really cool and very well executed. There's no, like, weird glitches or anything that we came across. So I love that. I love the graphics. I love that they took the kind of the combination of an RPG, kind of like Mass Effect-ish, and combined it with real, like, good third-person fighting. Because usually I hate playing as third-person in a shooter.
Yeah.
But I think they did it. They did it well. And the weather is cool. The sunrises and sunsets, as it all just kind of rolls past. Sometimes you don't even notice it, because it's just so seamless. But if you've got buddies that you guys game together, and you've got... this is not really like a quick satisfaction game.
Oh,
you
no.
can't just jump in and jump out.
Yeah. Put some major time investment in this.
Yeah. So here's some more damn NPCs. But
we are
we rogue?
No.
We're about to be, I think. But yeah, so if you've got buddies, this is definitely the game for you. I mean, I know like Rainbow Six Siege is very like team based and communication based, but you can still have one person go and take out like their whole team. And in this game, that's just not going to happen.
No.
And you really need to communicate. Like, you can heal your teammates, which I thought was really cool, too.
Yeah.
Like, before they go down. Not to mention, you can kind of shoot your healing gun at them from a distance. So you can really, like, survive a firefight pretty well. Right before somebody's about to go down on your team, you can just hit them with your health pack. And they're back to full health. So that was really cool. I like that a lot. Even though I said I don't like that sometimes. This, though, we're rogue now.
No, we're not.
Oh, no, we're not. Oh, I know what
This is
we're
when
doing.
I try and get the gun from.
Yeah, we tried to beat the system here, and I tried to give a good gun that I found to Mitch, because he didn't get so lucky. And he's going to kill me and try to take the gun. I left the group. So this might be... and it worked. I'm not going to say it didn't work. It was hard to fully execute because now they're marked. They're rogue. And they've got a bounty on them. But in this instance, he didn't get the gun because I had a bunch of other gear. But we did do it successfully a little bit later. But now they're marked, and I'm going to come running back to try and join them before they get into a big fight. And we'll probably cut it after that, I think, because we're probably... if you're still watching, then thank you. And if you like the sound of my voice or Mitch's funny quips and witty comments,
Yeah, I'm chock full of them.
Full of them. Or he's also full of shit. Or if you like people that are full of shit, subscribe, like, tune in for more videos. And when this game gets released, I'm going to be on it all the time.
All the time.
So more videos to come. I'm going to post every cool gun battle that we get into on the channel, and you can see what it's like to just live in the Wild West of the Dark Zone. But I'm pretty sure we take some heat here. Yeah, there's a guy out there. So I don't like this tower that we're in.
No.
It helped us here, but at the same time, you get guys that like run up here with 4, 5, 6 guys. They hide out up here. There's only one way in. It's that ladder, and basically they're really hard to take down. And it's kind of like I wouldn't say a glitch because it's not a glitch, but it's kind of like a loophole that I don't know if Ubisoft was planning on a bunch of D-bags hiding up here and causing problems. But
Rogue status no longer active.
yeah, maybe we don't get in a fight here. So we are gonna cut the video here. But that being said, go get this game when it comes out.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. It's the best one that's come out in, I don't know, Halo was awesome, but other than that...
I hate to compare it with Destiny, because Destiny was such a letdown.
Such a letdown.
But it's kind of the same concept. Run around.
Yeah. Better executed.
Absolutely.
Way better executed. Way more realistic. Gun balance was the same. There's no bullshit gun that can just, like, kill you in one shot like Destiny.
Yeah.
I mean, at least not without you having a chance to hide behind cover and like throw a grenade at somebody. So that's good. But yeah, it's kind of like Destiny, except better executed and more. Obviously, this is Manhattan and not fucking Mars or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Random planets.
But if you have buddies and you guys like to play together and you like to be tactical and you like to be badasses, then this is the game for you, and go get it. And it is the best game since, at least, shit, I don't even know. Destiny was supposed to be the fucking game, and it sucked.
And it was terrible.
So for since a while.
Yeah.
Halo was awesome, but that's just because I'm obsessed with Halo.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was really that awesome. But anyways, like, subscribe. If you've got questions about the game, please message us. Follow us on Twitter, all that good YouTube stuff. And stay tuned for more videos on the channel, but more Division gameplay. When this game gets released, we're going to be on it, and we're going to be doing some shit, and there's more to come. So that's it for us. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Talk at you soon.